Please, please, let me cut into his heart.
What up, everybody? That wake anybody up? If you had music on. That was a little band called Phantomos from their self-titled album from 1999. Had some weird shit on it, and that's going to match kind of the theme of this stream. So what up, Chaos Heavy? Good to see you. Grim, we got up in here. We got Mr. Twister dancing in the ha. Don't know how you could dance to any of that, but hey. Mrs. Trigger Warning Wears, what up? Nitro, we got in here. Yeah, we're gonna dive into some analog horror tonight. Oh yes, this is very weird. I don't know why. There we go. Have to adjust the tie here. Gotta look good for the stream, you know. Yeah, I got home. My Streamlabs is all fucked up. Had to figure that out. Like rebooted itself. I had to like. It's like I was setting it up from scratch again, so that's why I'm a little late on the start. Sorry about that. But hey, I'm here, 12:05. Not too bad. I know there's a lot going on tonight. First and foremost, I am finally celebrating a win in JDW. Because I went toe-to-toe with 210 Kicks, and I whipped that ass in a 20-minute grudge match, back and forth. Just beating the shit out of each other. And I came out victorious because, hey, it's me. So, yeah. I don't know who would have doubted that outcome, but hey. That match was like a Melvin Troy stream, Mr. Twister. It was like a Keegan the Creep subathon. Which, speaking of Keegan, I think his subathon is dwindling down. But I've thought that for like the last 2 or 3 nights. And someone always comes through right at the end to extend it for another day. So we'll see what happens. If it does end, I have... Let me find it here. I got this in the mail today. I don't know if you can see that or not. Probably not, but it's my Super Subathon. There we go. Super Subathon shot glass that I won from one of the eggs. It came in the mail today. If the subathon happens to end and somebody lets me know, I got a little bit of this to celebrate. Gonna take a shot for my new shot glass. So it might kill the vibe of what we're gonna dive into today, but hey, that's all right. Because it's worth the celebration. 15 days, like holy shit, you know. that man's a machine, and he's been sleeping on that air mattress for over 2 weeks now, getting fucked with sound alerts. I'd be ready to kill every single one of you in the chat if I was him by now. But he's still going, because that's just the kind of built different, you know, it's just what he's made of, I guess I'm saying. So, mad props to Keegan the Creep. If we could give him a shout out in the chat, actually. I'm sure everybody in here is already following him. But hey. I'll go ahead and give him a shout out here. Mad props to Keegan, man, because holy shit. Like, I know there's people who've been, you know, doing subathons for like, 500 days, I think someone said. 15 is a hell of an accomplishment. And yeah, shout out to the lamp, Grim, for sure. That damn lamp on the Shaggy show. Man, Shaggy and Manny took a beating on JDW tonight as well. And yeah, there was no Bipper Show representation tonight, which was a sham. But the biggest sham was Tech 518 winning his match against Zebra Boy, as Radam calls him. What the fuck, man? If I hadn't won tonight, I'd be pretty upset. But man, tonight was the best JDW event in my eyes because I won. I won against 210 Kicks. Doesn't get a lot better than that. So I'm pretty fucking happy right now. See, I don't know. I don't know if I should start or not. I think Twister said there's 3 minutes left on the clock for Keegan. So maybe I'll just bullshit for about 3 more minutes. It's just to see what happens. I'm going to start my stream while he's setting up for the wheel or whatever. But I just want to see if that goes down to 0. I'm going to take a shot for that man if it does. Minute 30 left, man, and nobody's. Let's see if Radom waits till it's down to 40 seconds again, like he did last time, and dropped a 5-bomb. Yeah, if somebody drops a 5-bomb or something like that, I'm just gonna start my stream because we know where that's gonna go. But if the timer actually runs out, I'm taking a shot right here and now before I start. That's usually what happens, Mrs. Trigger Warning Wears. That's kind of what I'm expecting to happen. Actually, you know what? Whoop whoop, what up, Red Sackham? I'm just gonna go ahead and pull up the stream right now and watch along. Let's see where it's at right now. I got 25 minutes left, I'm seeing. Somebody must have added time just now, didn't they? Alright, well, I know where that's going. Yeah, Bunga gifted 5 subs. Yeah, so I'm not going to stick around and wait for to take a shot, because we know where that's going to go. Keep that shit going, Keegan. I'm going to get everything set up here. Shout out to Cowabunga Dude. He's a homie. But anyway, tonight is kind of the beginning of a series I want to start. I don't know if I'm going to do all these like in a row. I might like spice it up with some gaming stuff on my channel. But this is an overview. Once again, I'm kind of cheating because I'm going to have my homie, not really even a homie, just someone I respect a lot, a channel I follow like religiously, Nexpo, give kind of an overview of this Gemini Home Entertainment, which is like some top grade analog horror. Pretty much the story is there's these VHS tapes that come from an alternate reality very similar to our own and yet very different, as you're gonna see. I'm talking like fucking body snatching creatures that like have these long spider legs, and I fucking hate spiders, so they creep me out. Fucking disease that just makes people, well, you'll see. And eventually the end of the world as we know it. So back up to 50 minutes. Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and bullshit for 50 minutes just to see what happens. I'm diving into my stream. Let's get into some Gemini Home Entertainment, as my homie Nexpo is going to explain it here. Just make sure I have the right screen chosen. Alright. Y'all ready for this? Y'all ready to get spooky? I know I am. Let's go. I'll let Nexpo do a little bit of self-promotion since I'm jocking his channel right now. I'm gonna take a sip of my W while we wait for this to start. That's right, still pushing the W.
I have discovered a series in the realm of Local 58.
Oh man, this is some wild shit, y'all.
A VHS archive of an ordinary broadcast company. Animal education, storm safety, space knowledge, artificial
Nitro, get Misfit in here because she's gonna like this, I think.
Are among the topics presented to us in the form of short, educational VHS guides. Tonight, we will envelop ourselves within this fantastic educational series. This is Gemini Home Entertainment. Oh yeah. I'm digging this.
Oh, me too.
On our plate tonight is an analog horror series by an internet creator named Remy Abode, birthed from an alternate reality gone awry. Containing events stemming from the hope for a brighter future, Gemini Home Entertainment is a video distribution company ready
Just
to
in
take
time,
you on an
Misfit.
educational trip through various avenues of life knowledge. What that knowledge is exactly is unclear at this point in time, but what we do know is that something in their reality is out of place. Something isn't right here. The series was born on November 13th,
What up, Sabby Lou?
2019, and has since built up to a total of 16 videos, each with their own surprises, and each giving us a different piece of the puzzle as to what's happening within this world. The guides are presented in a VHS anthology format, a far cry from the silent onlooking and broadcast interruptions we experienced in Local 58. Whoever's behind Gemini wanted people to see this, and everything within each recording is as it should be. Tonight on our plate, we have the following before us.
Oh yeah, I knew you wouldn't miss that for the
World's
world,
weirdest
Misfit.
animals, storm safety tips, the deep blue.
This is
artificial
just starting,
computer learning,
Misfit.
Our solar system.
So you're just in
camp
time.
information video, lethal omen, wilderness survival guide, sleep image visualizer, games for kids, advanced mining vehicle, deep root disease, monthly progress report, Christmas Eve party, home invasion help, and last but not least, Crusader probe mission. Because there doesn't appear to be any sort of established timeline here, we're going to tackle these in the order of their release date. If you can't tell by now, we've got our work cut out for us, so pop open those Lunchables and grab that Crystal Pepsi. We're about to dive into some analog horror. This, my friends,
Oh, Mr. Twister, I can imagine.
is
Yeah,
Gemini Home Entertainment.
I'd rather Fizzy just get her rest. But don't worry, after this Nexpo overview, I plan on doing my own deep dive into Gemini Home Entertainment, so she won't be missing out.
World's weirdest animals. The video opens by showing a strange and wacky wildlife that inhabits various regions of Minnesota, like prairie chickens and burrowing owls. The overall pacing and layout of the video are pretty simple, with the names of the animals being presented alongside a couple facts, all over some calm B-roll footage.
Pretty standard educational stuff, right? Like, I did not know a burrow owl didn't stay in a tree.
The overall
You learn
tone
something new
changes
every
a
day.
bit once we make it to the 3-minute mark. Contrary to the prior animals, the habitat for the one upcoming is denoted as everywhere. And if that weren't strange enough, music is non-existent from this point forward, merely leaving us with an ominous dead air.
Wood crawlers. Oh, God, I shiver just thinking of them.
And so, the next animal up is something called a woodcrawler. For the next couple minutes, the video explains a bit more about them, like the fact that they're found all over North America, are excellent hunters, do not make any noise at all, and prefer the homes of large families for nesting. Apparently they adapt to this residential environment, although it's unclear what exactly that means.
Getting pretty weird, right? This is nature's mockery, Baba Booey. Oh! Ugh.
So, right in the middle of episode 1, we get a brief glimpse of what we can assume to be a woodcrawler. It appears to be some sort of long-legged creature, and I've got a funny feeling that its actual body is much, much larger than a human. Curiously, the video also presented somewhat of a paradox, claiming that you will hear screaming, but they stole their voices. If we're assuming that the victims of these so-called woodcrawlers are humans, then it leaves us wondering what exactly they're doing to them. Lastly, I find it interesting that this creature was described as nature's mockery, as that term could be interpreted in a couple different ways.
I mean, now that I look, you can clearly tell that's cardboard. But just try to suspend your reality. And just imagine there's a big, long, creepy spider legs and not some cardboard cutouts. Okay.
Are woodcrawlers ridiculing our entire perception of nature and how life within it functions? Or are they some kind of absurd imitation of human life? I could be way overanalyzing this first part, but I'm just curious why that's there, considering how unnatural this creature looks. In this next scene, we're outside of that same house at night. It's hard to make out, but we can notice people inside of it this time. Why?
Which honestly, creeping around anyone's house in the middle of the country is always a big fucking risk. That's good to hear, Graham. I'm glad. Oh shit, he got spotted. Well, it doesn't look good for that cameraman.
Yeah, those aren't people, are they? So, with their bizarre, unnatural behavior, combined with a caption claiming that they're fake people, it's clear that woodcrawlers don't kill humans. They imitate them. This effectively establishes synonymy between the two, as their method of adapting somehow involves taking over their bodies and conforming, to the best of their ability, to natural human life. As we've seen though, their behavior is far from it. They are incredibly tense, they can't properly interact, and when faced with an outsider that isn't one of their kind, they attack them.
Oh.
They're an absurd imitation of the human form. A true mockery of nature.
Or maybe they should join the X-Men. Melvin? Yeah. Alright, let's learn some storm safety tips. Yeah, let's all mock nature, Mr. Twister. Ha ha ha.
Storm
Nature.
safety tips. Brought to you by Harbinge Technologies. The focus of this video is to help keep you and your family informed on how to remain safe in the event of a major catastrophic storm. The steps outlined are pretty cut and dry, with the first being to reinforce your home by improving structural support, replacing roof shingles, and fixing leaks. Step 2 advises that you install an early warning system, then, conveniently, Harbinge Technologies makes. According to the video, this albedo alarm will warn you ahead of time if a storm or other danger is approaching your home.
So it's like Chuli's
Interesting.
bubble gum.
I wonder what that could be. The third step involves building a storm bunker, which should be precisely 18 feet long by 10 feet tall. The tape then advises us to install a 4 to 5 foot wide aluminum hemisphere and to place their timber shortwave radio next to it. We're given no further context on why it should be there, but it should.
Quietly take your family to your bunker.
This next segment explains what to do during these storms.
Your home
It's
does not
first
belong to you
advised
now.
to take
Wow.
our family to the bunker, followed by powering on our timber radio and remaining calm. Oddly, when
Don't
these
forget your
steps are
tinfoil
shown,
hat either, that's
conflicting
right.
statements appear below each one that seem to add nothing to the table in terms of instruction.
Your tears are filled with
Rather,
salt because you're
it tends to
salty.
inflict the viewer with doubt, with claims like, "Your home doesn't belong to you now. Ignore all sound produced by the radio. They're auditory hallucinations." And, "Your tears are filled with salt."
Salty ass bitch.
If we took these statements away,
Right,
we
that's
wouldn't be
supposed to-
losing out on anything, which makes me wonder why it's there and who the hell wrote it.
The chime. Look to the field. Yeah, it said turn on the shortwave radio, but anything you hear is an auditory hallucination. Take your family to the bunker and blow each other. Whoa, what the hell? Fuck, that's loud. Oh my god. Alright, well, we're all well equipped to defend ourselves and our families against storms, at least. With that perfect information.
Listen, under your feet, crawling through the floor.
Good old family 69.
It seems that this line is referencing woodcrawlers, which leads me to believe that this storm isn't the type we know of in a conventional sense. This, combined with the immediate camera cut to lights in the field, alongside that warning to return to the bunker if we see them, makes it appear that these woodcrawlers and whatever's emitting these lights are perhaps the same creature. With this in mind, this leaves us to wonder what exactly this storm entails. How often does it happen? And most importantly, why is it happening?
Ah, the old deep blue sea. Nothing spooky in the sea. Except for the most terrifying fucking shit ever, because it's the unknown. Which is
Deep
why I
blue.
refuse to swim in the ocean.
Created by a Geneva production company, the premise of this one is simple. Lighthearted education about various creatures and regions of the deep blue sea. Towards the latter half of the video, we cut to a section about the deep ocean. The Marianas Trench is introduced as a large foreboding hole in the ocean floor, described as the deepest place on Earth.
It's also where Death Clock
Following
recorded their
this,
album.
we can observe a cross-section view, introducing an even deeper and more ambiguous region of the ocean called the Demizia Tunnel. And, ominously, the depth here is unknown.
Yo, like the deep sea like terrifies the fuck out of me, no lie. Send Jason Statham down there to fight the Meg. Nothing can live inside the Marianas Trench. Except Death Clock when they're recording an album for Fish. That's why I'm afraid of the deep sea, right there. What the fuck is that? Yeah, that's a big nope for me too, Nitro.
Nothing can live inside the Marianas Trench. The same, however, can't be said about the Demizia Tunnel. Taking what we know so far about woodcrawlers, how they were introduced, and the connection to them from storm safety tips, I'm led to believe that this creature is perhaps a full-body shot of one of them. With this, we become aware of their ability to exist on land, underground, and beneath the extreme pressure of the ocean floor, cementing them as a highly resilient creature that humans, by all accounts, need to stay away from.
No problem there. Oh, good old Netscape communicator. I remember that. It says RegNad.
RegNad computing, huh? This next entry involves a new, state-of-the-art AI tech showcase. The overview explains that it's been in development for about 4 years and is already highly advanced. Curiously, this is the only tape so far to start off with absolutely no music, which I found notable considering that in each video so far, the music stops when an ominous revelation is about to happen. The AI showcase is laid out in the form of short stories. Each iteration spans 4 lines of text, and as we progress through this video, we'll find that what starts off as unintelligible quickly morphs into something we're able to logically follow.
Interesting. Jack leapt over the river, Mary to follow together. Travel, follow the secrets. Jack the river, it is dead.
As expected, this first story made little sense. We can gather an overall idea of what it's trying to convey through words like river, a secret, death, and the names Jack and Mary. Iteration 2 expands on this a bit, and reads the following. Jack leapt over the river. Mary followed close behind. They're searching for the secret place. I hear you. And with Iteration 3, Jack leapt over the river. There goes Mary down the stream. The secret place will keep us safe. The river flows, but not with water.
Oh. Meaning like blood? See, this is why, like, I'm very concerned about the boom in AI lately. Like that Skynet shit is, like, right around the corner. So what the hell was that?
Alright, so that was a lot to take in. Those last two iterations diverted pretty heavily from the original story, formulating a narrative with tons of clues to pick apart. The story here surrounds two people named Jack and Mary. We can assume that they're out in the wild, leaping over a river to get to a secret place. It's unclear what this secret place is, but for now, we can assume it to be a storm safety bunker. In Iteration 4, we get references to a so-called voice from space, and in that same story, it's clear that Mary has become something else. This something else,
The thing from the Mist movie? Yeah, it could be.
That's referenced thereafter. However, by this point in the video, we're unsure of what exactly that is. Something else I found interesting was this small detail. At the beginning, we're told we're going to explore 3 iterations of short stories by this AI.
And we got 4 of them.
In reality, we received 5.
Oh, 5? Holy shit.
This leaves us with 2 options on why this is. Either an external party had tampered with the video or this computer, or this AI is somehow advanced enough to make decisions on its own.
Yep, that's...
Personally, I'm led to believe the former. And this is why. As we could see, the structure of these stories takes place in third person. During iterations 2, 4, and 5, however, we receive specific lines of text
RoboCop,
that
yeah,
address
that,
either us
RoboCop
Jack
or
in the
Wall-E,
first
I'd say
person.
we're close to Mr.
And after
Twister.
stringing these together, we gain an interesting result.
Possibly the Matrix.
I hear you. Jack, do you see me? I've become something else. Do you see the hungry eye? Here I am. With this context, I want you to listen very carefully to that last iteration once more.
Or Cyberpunk, yeah. I heard like a
There
voice.
is some sort of voice coming through
Yeah.
the broadcast. It's extremely muffled. However, it's clear that something is either interfering or feeding information to this AI. And personally, I'm led to believe that it's Mary. She and Jack are not just filler names for these stories. They are actual people, and I'm going to infer that the story presented actually happened. Moving on. Towards the video's end, we observed a glitch in the 2 diagrams. Given the references to the voice from space and the moving stars, I'm led to believe that these 2 circles represent planets. The larger appears to be the hungry eye, being denoted as alive, with intent. It seems to be hyper-focusing on a smaller planet, which we can assume to be Earth. And in the second diagram, we can observe the effects that this eye is having on us. Somehow, it's projecting some sort of vessel down to Earth, and once it makes contact, it mutates into the creatures we've been seeing thus far.
Oh.
It's clear that there's something larger at play here, and there's a lot of context that we're still missing. So let's keep this in mind and press on to see what else Gemini has for us.
Yeah, AI generated music, Grim. It is. Like, I've heard, like, pretty much spot on sounds just like Drake or Jay-Z and shit like that that's made by AI. Very interesting how they're gonna come up with copyright laws for that kind of thing. Oh yeah, we all know about our solar system. So I'm sure nothing new here.
When we shift gears to our solar system, we're able to learn a few facts about the various planets. A diagram greets us, encompassing the Sun, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune.
Yeah, what the fuck is that?
After learning facts about the Sun, Mercury, and Venus, we then make our way to Earth, described as one of the only planets in our solar system capable of supporting life.
One of the only. A gas giant.
Upon making our way to Jupiter, the video highlights its big red spot. It claims that it's not an eye. It is an open wound. We then observe Saturn. The outer portion of its ring is absent, and it's denoted as something called the Gateway.
My favorite planet, Uranus. Oh, I bet it does. Whoa, what? The iris. It is with us now. Laughing at us. That was loud. Behold! That's like one of my favorite words. What the hell?
Is new. It's with us now, laughing at us. It's clear that the overarching threat is not that of woodcrawlers, but the iris, which has somehow caused neighboring Neptune to mutate. What exactly that means at this point in time is unclear, but if I were to guess, it could be some sort of breeding ground for the creatures it emits by solar storm. Due to its presence, other planets like Jupiter and Saturn are beginning to suffer from the effects of its influence. And given the story so far, it's safe to conject that its next target is Earth.
Oh man. Good camp information video. Good stuff to keep in mind. The gathering's coming up, after all. Moonlight Acres, family camp, established 1930, see?
Tape 6 changes gears a bit. Here, we're introduced to a freshly reopened campground called Moonlight Acres, a serene getaway that's completely isolated from outside civilization. The tape showcases its many accommodations and activities, including hiking trails, archery, canoeing, and their flagship Lights in the Sky event, which is oddly denoted as a harvest.
I'm sure that's nothing troubling at all.
Afterwards, we're able to catch a glimpse of their various structures. Among these are burrow-free family cabins, kids' cabins, and even their original rustic cabins for those feeling a bit more outdoorsy. Each of these are beautifully decorated to ensure your stay is as cozy as possible, and you can rest easy knowing that they have alarms in place in case a sudden storm takes place. Just be absolutely, positively sure not to...
Was this a bunga stream? Do not answer the knocking at the door.
The knocking at the door.
Hell, I don't do that anyway. We're good there. Gemini house.
Around 3 minutes into the video, we're introduced to the mythology behind Moonlight Acres. Allegedly back in the 1930s, strange, well-dressed men would visit the campground, asking to enter the admin's cabin every single night for years. Apparently one night, a deal was made with them and they left, never to be seen again.
That's ominous.
Following this, we get a mention of skinwalkers that were allegedly sighted during the same time period.
Skinwalkers,
For those unaware, skinwalkers are a type of shape-shifting humanoid creature that's able to inhabit the form of any animal they desire. It's unclear if they're referencing the same type of skinwalker within Gemini Home Entertainment. But with what we know about woodcrawlers and how they function, I definitely see some overlap.
Hello, legs. You come here often? There's the Brotherhood Discord. I don't have a Discord right now. What in the hell is going on?
Adam Levitch, Barry Johnson, Truman Michaels, Bethany Newman, Alec Davison, and Dorothy Bates are listed as vessels. Carriers of something that isn't good. It's clear to us that the knocking was coming from woodcrawlers, and given the photo of them, we're able to finally establish a scale for how gargantuan these creatures can be. I'm going to conject that the woodcrawler we saw in World's Weirdest Animals was much younger than the ones we're seeing here in Moonlight Acres. While we're currently unsure of what their lifespan is, we know that this one surely wouldn't fit into a house.
Holy shit, yeah. Fuck
Given
that.
the campground's mythology, with the stories about the strange men that coexisted with so-called skinwalkers in the 1930s, this implies that these creatures have been here for decades. But this leaves us to wonder what they've been doing and how they've upheld the status of mere campground mythology for so long. We know the original staff opened their doors, likely being killed or transformed into fake
It's
people.
interesting they're called
and resulting in
vessels.
the campground's original closure. But where the hell have they been since then? What is clear is that Moonlight Acres is back open, now advertising burrow-free cabins and having a clear awareness of these creatures existing. Someone gave it the green light. But who?
The Wilderness Survival Guide. Oh, look at the kitty cat. Just casually killing some kind of hawk. Or bird.
Wilderness Survival Guide. In this one, a man named Jack Wilder is going to teach us about wildlife.
Jack Wilder.
Fitting name.
It's like Jack Hanna.
The video opens informing us about various safety measures to take place when out in the wild. We learn which equipment to bring, and are then presented with various natural hazards to be aware of, like thorns, ditches, various animals, and what to do if we ever come face to face with a bear.
Give it cocaine. The jackhammer power bomb. Whoa.
There's our skinwalker. So we now know that woodcrawlers can not only kill and inhabit the bodies of humans, but animals too. Interesting. Following this section, we're greeted with numerous flora and their impacts on humans. Among these are poison ivy, which causes rashes, itching, swelling, and blisters. Water hemlock, which causes trembling, convulsions, respiratory failure, and death.
Oh,
And
you missed the
lastly,
woodcrawlers.
something
Oh,
called
man.
Nature's mockery. Not the woodcrawler description we saw earlier, but
So savvy woodcrawlers are like these like spider-like looking creatures that can take over like humans and animals. They're kind of like skinwalkers. See, this is all like an alternate reality, like a world different from our own. This is what this whole Gemini home entertainment is about. And a lot of very creepy, weird stuff is going on right now. Like this Nature's Mockery plant. I never heard of that. But apparently it causes hallucinations, sudden muscular paralysis, body disfigurement, and flesh decay.
the actual, proper Nature's Mockery. Its effects on humans encompass hallucinations, sudden muscular paralysis, body disfigurement, and flesh decay. In other words, something that can latch onto you, something that can break you, deforming you into a being hardly resembling that of a human. But, hey, at least it won't kill you.
Always look on the bright side. A cougar. Cougars always sound pissed off. Auditory hallucination. They're old men to younger men. Can you blame them? If you hear them, they have already heard you.
One of the most disturbing and unethical aspects of this video was the description of a human pleading for help. Clearly, they were desperately in need. However, the video plays it off, persuading you that this human being that's probably on the brink of death is nothing but an auditory hallucination. Knowing what we know about fake people and their conformity to human life, I understand that this could very easily be one of them. But what if it isn't? We're presented with a catch-22 here, If we risk our own life to help this person and they're not a fake person, then we've done something good and helped save a life. But if we assume that it's a fake person without ever confirming it, we'll never know any better and they'd be left to die. It's a tactic of manipulation. Gemini Home Entertainment has planted a seed in the heads of whoever watches this, and it effectively contributes to a moral apprehension, a panic per se, in which you truly cannot trust anyone.
Well, Stone Cold told me, DTA, don't trust anybody.
Moving on, we then learn how to create a fire. Critical knowledge for anyone venturing into the wild.
Yeah, they're a little late to the party, aren't they, Savvy?
If your fire fails to start, though, Jack Wilder advises to
follow the lights. Of course, who wouldn't think of that? Follow the lights, duh. Or follow the buzzards. Drink your pee, yes. Oh, you're fucked, Jack. Well, he does look a little sketchy.
Exhibit A. A fake person screaming for help.
Shoot him and take his lighter.
Like bait.
Forcefully rip foreign object from body. I will be playing this game on a future stream, by the way. As you fight a group of Phil Collinses. Challenging puzzles. High quality graphics, yes. Only the highest quality. I don't care anymore. Yeah, I've seen your silhouette on that video. You're insane. Only $29.99? Holy shit. What a steal.
Welcome to Lethal Omen, a video game intended for Regnat computers. It takes place at Moonlight Acres, and throughout this video, we're able to observe the embodiment of various motifs we've seen in videos past. The beginning of the game starts out serene. The player peeks around the campground a bit, however is soon greeted with an enemy mob that are out to get them.
But why do they all look like Phil Collins?
Interestingly, these enemies appear to be dressed in military fatigues, giving rise to the possibility that there's some sort of military intervention at play here. It should be noted that there have been absolutely zero references to government involvement.
Minecraft 1.0.
However, given the circumstances, it would make sense. Keep this in mind. We'll come back to it. Anyway, a few moments later, we encounter what seems to be a fake person. And afterwards, the campground alarm begins blaring. The game tells us to run.
Oh yeah, there's the storm shelter they were talking about before. Oh shit.
And that, my friends, is what takes place during a storm. Panic. Disruption. Invasion.
Big spooky and weird, Sailor V.
It appears to me that the basement we sought refuge in followed every single protocol that Harbinge outlined back in storm safety tips. The dome was there and the radio was on, but that didn't stop them. Like breaking through cardboard, a woodcrawler was able to breach their advertised fortress of refuge with ease, which leaves me curious if Harbinge made their guide in good faith. If we can recall, there was a double purpose to their
cry.
video.
Who's crying?
Not only were they giving advice, but they were also selling products, like the timber radio and the albedo alarm. From an outside perspective, they appear to be capitalizing on mass panic to reap profits, although that point is merely conjecture, since, for all we know, they too may be oblivious to the inefficacy of their products. The blind leading the blind, per se.
Per se? Oh no, this is Nexpo, actually. Another YouTuber. Having you dig your own grave. I think you're right. Oh, that must be the iris. Oh, things are starting to kind of come together a little bit here.
Alright, I know this is a video game, but if the iris can move around the solar system at will, coming within a critical distance from Earth, then yeah, there's a problem. And it ain't just woodcrawlers. Interestingly, this section occurred at twilight, which mirrors the various other references we've seen to woodcrawler activity. The fields, the fake people, the knocking. If there's something I take away here, it's that it seems that these creatures are more active, more violent, when the sun goes down.
So, that's really interesting to me because when I was a kid, like probably middle school, like this wasn't part of a homework assignment or anything. I just had an idea in my head of like a story of see, when I was a kid, I thought like the planet Neptune was really like this like huge living like organism, and the alien life that lived there was parasites that were part of this organism, and they could travel to Earth and kind of infiltrate us, and like the ultimate goal was for Neptune to like travel willingly through the solar system and like freeze every other planet. So that's yeah, I'm one of them. Sabby's onto me. So it's like really cool to me to see this series, this Gemini Home Entertainment, because this wasn't like close to an idea I had when I was a kid. and like I thought it was just like, you know, like a childhood like imagination type thing, like wow, that's kind of dumb now that I'm older and think about it. But someone actually like put time into making something like this, similar to an idea I had when I was a kid, and that's just really cool to me. Like, I just wanted to pause and point that out for a second, because it's like kind of mind blowing. And yeah, I'm sorry you missed the cat, Misfit. All right, let's continue. Let's cook. Oh,
yeah.
it's cool.
I forgot to mention, you can actually play this. Lethal Omen is a game chock full of secrets. You can spend a solid hour exploring Moonlight Acres, discovering its hidden lore, and unlocking each of the 5 endings awaiting you. I'm going to go over them now, so if you'd like to play this for yourself and keep things unspoiled, I'll give you 10 seconds to skip forward to this timestamp.
I don't watch the spoilers because I've already seen this series of videos before, but I do plan on playing that on my stream at some point.
Like we established, within Lethal Omen, there are 5 different endings to uncover. Before we get to those though, I want to bring you into the campground to explore the hidden lore awaiting us. We begin the game next to a highway outside of Moonlight Acres. Both ends of the road are blocked off, however we can observe 2 cars nearby, one out in this field, and another resembling a police car. We're tasked with collecting 3 keys, and after doing so, we're then granted access to the campground. One of the first things you'll notice is this bulletin board. It contains 2 notes and 2 strange images that are hard to make out.
The jumping,
The first
yeah.
one informs us of the Lights in the Sky event taking place tonight at 9:30 p.m., and the second informs us to bring our so-called SIV.
You SIV?
We're then greeted with 6 cabins. In the first, we can observe headphones, a shortwave radio, a TV, and a Gemini home entertainment VHS tape. In the second, we get much of the same. This time though, a stack of tapes containing storm safety tips.
Probably
and other
years
Gemini
of
media
playing
are present. However,
PS1
there
quality
is this one
games.
that I'm unable to make out.
Can teach you to kind of make out the blurry
In the
fucking
third,
text.
we can observe a TV playing a Gemini tape. Here, we learn that an SIV is something called a sleep image visualizer that we're required to plug into a module. And that same SIV module can be seen lying on the dresser.
Gemini is being in charge of home entertainment. Yeah, that does sound terrifying, right?
Dreams. For who, how, and why, we're currently unsure of. But interestingly, if we shoot this specific monitor, we're able to observe the SIV in action for Adam Levitch, the former men's club supervisor that we know is transformed into a vessel. In cabin 4, we can see that things are a bit messier. On the TV once more is that SIV tutorial, and scattered across the room are numerous SIVs and headphones, along with the tape labeled Albedo Alarm Settings Video. Moving on to cabin 5.
Yeah, so there'd be dates one.
Huge mess.
A Gemini
There isn't much to
cunt.
this one besides this SIV on the ground. And last but not least, cabin 6. This one has clearly been ravaged by something, evident by the large break in the floor. Within it, we can observe that SIV tape, along with the SIV module and some sort of strange plague surrounding it. Upon making our way back outside into the archery area, we're greeted with 7 targets.
Hey, who
along
hasn't
with our
had some
first
good
enemy
cabin
encounter.
sex?
After taking them out and approaching the targets, we're able to read snippets of articles about the events taking place at Moonlight Acres. Campgoers distraught after Moonlight Acres' famous Lights in the Sky event is abruptly cancelled. If you've been looking forward to the Lights in the Sky event this year at Moonlight Acres Family Camp, don't be so hasty to pack your bags. The official Moonlight Acres website recently updated, revealing that the event has been abruptly cancelled with no reason given.
Oh.
Campgoers are enraged, especially those who go to Moonlight Acres every year simply to watch the event, and demand an explanation for the abrupt cancellation. The Times asked Moonlight Acres for an interview. They politely
Enraged.
declined. The others partially covered, making it a bit harder to make out, but it seems to focus on the disappearance of a person named Jordan Barnes. They were most likely Canadian, and given the fact that this note is
then who
beneath
cares?
the one about the lights in the sky cancellation, we can assume that this is why. Investigators are curious, though, as to why so many are worried about their disappearance, pondering if they're victims of a so-called mass hysteria. Moving on. Once we make our way to the
Flappy
administrator's cabin,
heads,
we
beady
can
eyes,
observe numerous
call everybody
campground
buddy or
photos
guy.
covering the walls.
Our friend.
The first, amusingly, contains a Mario 64 reference and displays an aerial view of the campground.
Mario
The
64
second
reference.
shows the campground entrance from 1982. The third is a swimming pool, circa 1988. And the fourth is a camp staff group photo taken in 1984. On the far wall are numerous other camp photos that are unlabeled, and opposite this are shelves full of VHS tapes. Here we can make out various Gemini videos. However, this specific one bears a name and date. Given what we know so far about the Civs and how they operate, I'm led to believe that this might be an archive of numerous staff dreams.
That would be
inside,
interesting
we
to have
find
a
shelf
device
full
that
of
can like
TVs
record
and
your
a strange
dreams.
door that's floating on the wall. Upon making our way up to it, we encounter an unkempt attic full of discarded televisions, and on the floor beneath them, various notes, reading the following. It was looking into me. Wants to eat the camp. I fear the men may return. My face is going away. I hear voices.
That's messed up.
The spot on my neck has grown. There's a bonfire tonight. I'll stay in my bedroom. Lights in the skies tonight. I've been told that the men will be present. Maybe it will leave us alone now. Something that stood out to me here was the reference to the spot on their neck. It seems to allude to an infection that is slow moving, and there are absolutely zero references to woodcrawlers or any sort of creature. Given what we know so far about nature's mockery, it doesn't seem to be that either, which leaves me curious.
Yeah, I'm a
if there's another
Cancer,
form of infection
and that's
taking
also
place
my
here.
zodiac sign as well.
Something biologic. Moving on. If we make our way back outside and head leftward, we encounter what I assume to be nature's mockery. And within it, a heavily deformed human being giving us a visual as to what this plant actually does to you. While examining it,
Oh, there's
the
a face in
fake person
there.
we saw back in the commercial gameplay spawns in. And then we're told to run.
Oh yeah, we saw this.
And so, like we saw earlier, we make our way back to the bunker. And from here, everything plays out as shown before.
Oh, I don't have something in common with Nilbog. Damn it. That makes sense. We're both pretty sensitive, aren't we? Hey, remember
Well,
that.
Except that. And so, this time, we hear a fake person.
July.
screaming in
I'm
the
a July
distance.
Cancer. Hey, there's that silhouette, Sebby. Oh, good. Okay, good. We're still different.
And we come to find that they're infected with the same plague we saw on the cabin floor.
Oh, shit. So it's kind of like Predator. Yeah, I'd be going the other way too, Sailor V. Well, that's ominous. You win! Alright! A winner is you!
That, my friends, is ending 1. Play the game like the commercial and encounter the iris staring into you.
Yeah, ain't nobody got time for that, Sailor V.
From here, we're going to explore the other 4 endings. Clearly, Lethal Omen's lore is
it's Lethal Omen, which is a game within this Gemini Home Entertainment alternate reality.
So let's head back in to uncover it. Moving on to ending 2, you once again begin the game as usual. Collect the keys and fight the enemies. However, this time, instead of approaching
it's like an analog horror series on YouTube.
You gotta make your way back to the admin's attic. Once you're inside and turn around to exit though, you're greeted with a strange mannequin that tracks your every move.
I don't think it has anything to do with the back rooms. Oh god, I hate shit like that.
And after approaching it, you observe the following.
Now, why would anybody open a door when somebody's pounding on it like that?
To unlock ending 3, you need to collect the keys, kill the enemies, and approach Nature's Mockery. This time, instead of making your way to the cabin or bunker, you're required to pass through this secret entrance to the family cabin area to claim this hidden key that's also covered in that plague. After obtaining it, you make your way back to the front, where you'll find this target that you've got to shoot. And after doing so and heading to the highway the campground lies on, you encounter an abandoned police car before the following plays out.
Oh, the storm's coming. The car with PS1 graphics. You are not meant to be here. Hey, it's a Prince music video. This is what it sounds like when doves cry.
Ending 4 involves us making our way back in. After taking out the first round of enemies, we're required to shoot each target before making our way back to the entrance. Curiously, we then find an opening in the tree line, and upon exploring it, we encounter a massive, foreboding hole that's also covered in plague. Upon approaching it, we can hear the sounds of creatures in the distance.
So why would you not turn around and run?
We do as any sane person would do, and jump in.
My protein bottle's scary. Yeah. Oh, with the little... Yeah. And look at that protein. That's a thick white substance, isn't it?
The true ending. Here, we gotta do everything we've done prior. Keys, enemies, mockery, plagued key, and heading back to the front. Curiously, we then see an opening in the fence line, and after approaching it, we encounter a group of enemies in a formation. This time, though, they're not out
the
to
army
kill
of
us.
Phil Collinses.
They're waiting on us.
They can hear it in the air tonight. Oh my god, that's loud. I can't wait to play this.
But that isn't everything.
Oh, it's a mixture of
continues.
lots of people's little cummies. Oh, you don't like them to be called cummies, do you?
We approach a tree with a sign. Shifting tendons shape anatomy. There are fewer livestock now.
That's ominous. This is all from a alternate reality. Meaning,
Wretched hands tap my window. A stranger's fangs scrape the walls.
there, somebody used my real life animated emote. Thank you, Sabby. Well, this is trippy.
And another. The floorboards creak while I sleep. Growing cracks leak with red.
I feel like these are notes that Keegan has left behind after day 37 of his subathon.
The field has eyes, burning deep. They are becoming restless.
In a row? That's the iris. Oh, my brain is broken too, Sailor V. Oh, there's all the Phil Collins again. Hey, have you heard the Tarzan soundtrack? A Woodcrawler. Oh shit. You'll be in my heart. Oh, I thought that music was gonna play.
The mannequins, the hole, the police car, the ritual, and the iris. There is a ton to unpack within Lethal Omen, and the beauty of it is
That scare anybody that time?
presented in a video game format, you're left to encounter these on your own. So, let's recap. The role of the mannequins seen in the attic ending is currently unclear. It's important to note that they appear to have a much higher polygon count than anything else found in Lethal Omen.
Yeah, that's true.
Aside from that, hardly any context is given regarding their
Yeah,
existence.
what's the deal with these mannequins?
If I had to guess, I'd say that they represent the strange men that the camp admin referenced in their notes.
Shaking my gumball.
If we can recall, right after reading it is when we encounter them for the very first time, leading to a potential connection between the two. However, this is hitherto unconfirmed.
This is more like weird, like mind
Moving
fuck
on to the hole,
than
this appears to be
spooky.
the byproduct of woodcrawlers, their breadcrumb trail as they breach the confines of Earth. It's currently unclear what exactly that plague is, but perhaps we'll find our answers in later uploads. The police car seems to represent a victim.
The police car.
The police likely received calls of strange activity going on at Moonlight Acres, potentially involving the missing Jordan Barnes. However, after investigation, they never made it out to reveal the truth. There is a looming impression that they're aware of woodcrawlers, but this is also unconfirmed.
Now, it is
And
going to get into
lastly,
some pretty fucked up
ritual.
shit when it
An
comes to
embodiment of hopelessness.
the
After
disease that
realizing
starts
everyone
spreading around
you is infected,
after
is
this
a fake person, you lose all hope on fighting back. Police
after this
can't help
segment's
you.
over with.
Camp admins answer the door. They can't help you. The bunker that's supposed to keep you safe. That can't help you. And a supermassive sentient eye is looming over you. It goes without saying that in a situation like this, fighting back is futile.
Now, I
And the
will
game
say, if I would have played
communicates
something
by
like
waiting
this
on
on my PS1 in like 1996 when I was like 10 years old,
you. Give in.
it probably would have freaked me the fuck out then. Especially the Phil Collins people.
We'll return after these messages.
Go ahead and plug your stuff, Nexpo. You've earned it. Yeah, I get it. Like the iris, yeah. Lulz. He is quite a handsome fellow, isn't he, Sabby?
Alright, halfway there. You still with me? As we can see, there is a lot going on with Gemini Home Entertainment. We still have tons of questions about the overall story here, but I wanted to circle back and recap on what we know so far. Refill your drink, heat up another popcorn, and get cozy, because you and I are only getting started.
Very symmetrical.
In review.
The only thing that's symmetrical about
Within
me
Gemini
is my
Home
man
Entertainment,
boobs.
The entire story revolves around the Iris. We know the Iris is a supermassive sentient planet that entered our solar system without humans ever knowing it. When, how, or why it did is currently unclear. But what we do know is that it infected a neighboring ice giant, Neptune, turning it into something that is alive.
They stole
Neptune
my idea.
has become somewhat of a minion to the Iris. A vessel, or lens, that it uses to emit solar storms targeting Earth. Given the diagram from artificial computer learning, we can infer that within these solar storms are embryos and seeds that mutate into woodcrawlers and nature's mockery upon landing on Earth, the Iris's next target for mutation. Back home, the primary prey of woodcrawlers are humans, but we know that they're able to inhabit the bodies of animals as well. Woodcrawlers are highly resilient and clever, given their ability to imitate humankind, although it's still unclear what exactly they do to achieve this. On top of woodcrawlers, nature's mockery is introduced as the major flora to steer clear from, and its method of infection appears to be via direct contact. Somehow, at an unknown speed, this plant paralyzes and disfigures whatever it comes into contact with, leaving the victim in a vegetative state forever. At this point, we're currently unsure if nature's mockery eventually kills you. But even if it did, that's not much better. Within the camp information video, we catch wind of the mythology behind a campground called Moonlight Acres.
Catching all this, misfit?
Given that the strange knocking men existed at the same time as the so-called skinwalkers in the 1930s, I'm led to assume that this campground was among the very first establishments to encounter the effects of the Iris. This explains why every single original staff member died. Well, except the admin. They weren't listed.
Oh, you didn't catch all that?
To Lethal Omen, an archaic video game that cements the time period for Gemini somewhere in the 1990s. To me, the game seems to place us into the shoes of that admin, taking us through their final minutes within their desolate campground. The various endings seem to be symbolic of the many ways they could have died, but that true ending, the hopeless suicide and transformation, that is the one that killed them. Lastly, we have two characters, Jack Wilder and Mary. Admittedly, Mary's background has been elusive. We can assume that she mutated into a woodcrawler somehow, and have also made the tenuous assumption that she's trying to communicate to Jack through the Regnat computers. Regarding Jack, he's a recurring character throughout Gemini Home Entertainment. Obvious references are made in the wilderness and AI videos, and given the nature of his work as a wildlife videographer, it leaves me to wonder if he has more to do with these tapes than they're letting on. If we can recall, World's Weirdest Animals, Storm Safety Tips, and Wilderness Survival Guide all have strikingly similar shots of video. So if he's the one behind these, clearly being attacked in the very first video, we're left to wonder what happened to him. Where is he? And so, alongside the abstruse nature of Jack's role here, there are still tons of questions left unanswered. Why do these tapes start off ordinarily, but devolve into a disturbing mess? Do each of the companies that Gemini Home Entertainment distributes for have humanity's best interests in mind, or is there something larger at play here? What exactly was that plague we kept seeing in Lethal Omen? Why are there stockpiles of Civ recordings in the admin's cabin? How exactly do woodcrawlers infect humans? Is the majority of humanity aware of this impending threat? And most importantly, Why did the iris enter our solar system? We know it's there, but we don't know how it operates and what its overarching plans are. What we do know, though, is that Gemini Home Entertainment is aware of all of this. They know about woodcrawlers, nature's mockery, the plague, the deaths, and Neptune's infection. But coincidentally, we know the least about them. Clearly, there's a lot of context left to fill. So let's buckle down and see what else Gemini has in store for us.
Well, you wouldn't, because this is an alternate world from ours, Sabby Lou. It's like the multiverse at play. Yeah, he gets really into these.
Well, perfect timing. For video 9, we once again meet our good friends over at Harbinge Technologies. This time, they're presenting an instructional guide on how to set up a sleep image visualizer, a device in which we can assume to give us a look into the dreams of others. We begin by orienting ourselves with the Civ module and headset before we move on to learn how to set it up. Interestingly, throughout this video, we'll soon notice anomalous interruptions that have been recorded over this tape.
I don't think I would want a sleep image visualizer, to be honest. I hardly ever remember what my dreams are, and that's probably for a good reason. Plus, I wouldn't want to wear that big fucking thing on my head while I'm trying to sleep. Levi Jacobs. So this is 6 minutes. I see some kind of the mannequin face. What the hell?
Interesting. So, in the middle of this video, we observe it cut to the dream sequence of a Levi Jacobs, and within it, we witness our first mannequin character outside of Lethal Omen. No further context is given to why they're there, but curiously, right after this dream sequence, we can observe that same mannequin head being used to represent a Civ client.
Yeah, exactly, Misfit. Like I said, I think my brain rejects most of my dreams for good reason. I don't think I want to know what they are. Good night. Adrian Gordon. So this is what, 2 minutes? Yeah, fuck that, Misfit. Oh shit, this one must have been added on. Holy shit, that's a long sleep. Mannequin. So is this like a dream or did it really happen?
Let's recap real quick. Levi Jacobs was asleep for 4 minutes. Adrian Gordon was asleep for 4 minutes. Jack Dean, however, was asleep for 3 days.
Yeah, holy shit. Or do they? Good God, Misfit. Yeah, I wouldn't want to remember all those. A Misfit coma. Wait, this one didn't have an ending date and time. God, that's loud. Yeah, we know you hate zombies, Berninja.
Alright, so throughout this one, we received 2 references to the iris. One being in the goodnight sequence, and another being within the dream of Joseph Allen, who never woke up. Interestingly, the video is very matter-of-fact.
Yeah, that was just like a loud noise for nothing.
Do not represent reality or the future. However, it's clear to us that they do represent the circumstances they're living in. Now, backing up. We've seen the name Jack in the series twice so far. Firstly in Artificial Computer Learning, and most recently in the Wilderness Survival Guide.
This is why I like Nexpo. Like, he does his best to explain this shit.
But for brevity, just know that this is the same person. Over on the Gemini Home Entertainment YouTube channel, they posted this image around the same time the Civ video released. On the very bottom, we're able to see his full name, and to the left, we can make out bits of the story surrounding
Jack Wilder Dean.
According to the article, Jack is a prominent TV personality and wildlife expert. He had gone missing in May, and his disappearance has been the subject of a nationwide manhunt. He allegedly disappeared while filming a new special aimed to protect and enlighten what I'm assuming to be people from what are most likely the effects of the iris. Curiously, the month he went missing and the time period he underwent Civ testing are both one and the same, which leaves us to wonder if, perhaps, this 3-day slumber somehow led to his death. While that is currently unclear, what is clear is that Jack Dean's Wilderness Survival Guide and the World's Weirdest Animals videos are distinctly connected. 2 parts of the same series of videos by him. With this in mind, we know he's been in the Civ, and we also know that he's been attacked by fake people. Either of these could have killed him. So which one was it? Where is he?
Where's Jack? Probably on the island. Games for kids. Yeah, Misfit, I can send you the YouTube link if you ever want to try to watch it on your own time when you're able to, watch it more closely.
Next up on our list is a family-friendly guide made by an Optica Video called Games for Kids. Are you bored? Need some new, fun games to play? Well, you're in luck, they claim. And so we learn about the ins and outs of various games that kids can play. First up, hide and seek. Simple enough. One player's the seeker, and the rest are hiders. They count to 20 and go on the hunt.
Found you. I bet this is not going to go somewhere good.
Next up, freeze tag. One player is it, while the rest are runners.
Oh, you're welcome, Misfit. Tag, you're it. Yay! When all the runners are frozen, it wins. Some games you can understand. Sardines.
Third up, Sardines, the sibling to hide and seek.
One player's chosen as
One
the
person
hider,
hides,
and everyone
the
else
rest go
seeks.
seek.
Oh, wow. That seems a little bit unfair. I see him already. Oh shit, he fell over. The game ends when everybody is hiding. Interesting.
Fourth up, a game called
Feed the Woods. That can't be good. Oh god. Sneak outside very quietly and gather all of your friends. Go into the woods. Walk until you cannot see the lights anymore. Scream on the top of your lungs. What the fuck?
Well, that's new. Contrary to every bit of advice we've gotten in videos past, like staying quiet and following the lights when the sun goes down, are all thrown out the window. We know that wood crawlers and fake people are more active at night, and advice like this does nothing but ensure their demise. Unless
Sending children to their
that's
graves.
the point.
A fun game to play with your friends. There's the Prince When Doves Cry shot again. Oh, is that the iris? Stop crying. There's a cop car. Alright, who snitched? The game ends when the forest is fed. Oh shit, a wood crawler. The aliens found us.
Alright, so Feed the Woods, a game that unequivocally leads children to their own death. As we could say,
It's kinda
during
hilarious,
this section
actually.
we observed numerous camera shots of the forest. Interestingly, in the third one, we could observe this strange red light in the sky. It seems to match the eye that we've seen on wood crawlers, and given the nature of this
Oh.
game, it would make sense. Clearly, the woods are a threat, a sort of eldritch location that serves as a breeding ground for these creatures. And as with anything that is alive, they need to feed. Backing up, I wanted to highlight the creator of this tape,
Optica
a
Video.
company named Optica Video. Considering the name, combined with the addition of a game that quite literally kills children at the benefit of these creatures, I'm led to assume that Optica Video
Something near
is not
Fawn's
a
Pond,
kids'
yeah,
company at
exactly.
all. This is a manipulation tape with nefarious intent, and it also drives home
Or the
point
Marsh
that the
Lagoon.
woodcrawler's food source is drying up. With this notion in mind, let's think back to Moonlight Acres. We established that it was ostensibly ground zero for the Iris, the very first location in which humanity experienced the effects of it. Given what we know from Lethal Omen about the Lights in the Sky event cancellation and the disappearance of Jordan Barnes, we can speculate that perhaps Moonlight Acres is or was closed during the time this tape was made. The woodcrawlers are hungry, leaving them with no choice but to expand to the neighboring forest to inhabit and feast on animals, which, as we learned from the camp admin's note, also began to dwindle in numbers. It's here when we realize that they're scraping for anything they can get, and this is further evident by the shot of the woodcrawler devouring the police car at the video's end. Whoever's behind Optica Video isn't someone inherently good.
I'd say
They're
not.
helping them, leading us, for the very first time, to question the morality of Gemini Home Entertainment as a company. With Regnad, Harbinge, and Geneva, there was, at the very least, ambiguity in their ethics. But here, that's not the case at all.
No. Go out and get eaten by monsters, kids. It's fun. The advanced mining vehicle. We all know what Melvin Troy thinks about miners. Or sorry, Calvin Troy.
Next up on our journey is a tape named Advanced Mining Vehicle. Here, we're introduced to a Canadian organization called NAMAD, or Northern Alberta Mining and Development.
Eh?
The video begins by introducing us to a new, revolutionary piece of mining technology called the Remote Operated Compact Tunneler. As the name implies, it provides the user with tunneling capabilities while mitigating all risk that would otherwise be involved.
Good for you and your tunnel buddies. Caught between a rock and a hard place. Sounds like a fun Friday night.
The video then informs us of the various technologies present within the ROCT, like an optical zoom lens to focus on important details, a compact microphone to detect running water or nests, and even an altimeter with a heads-up display,
Nests.
so you're always conscious of where and what the ROCT is tunneling into.
Is it gonna find something spooky? Ooh. Compromised. Uh-oh. That can't be good.
Following this, we learn of the heavily protected, industrial-grade battery aboard the ROCT. And it seems like we're gonna need it, considering it's been spotted by something.
I think we know what that something is.
We then cut back to the ROCT's camera at a depth of 145 meters. Interestingly, spread throughout these caves
It's a YouTube video, Riddles.
fleshy, stringy substance that we haven't yet seen.
But there is a game in the series too that you can play. Blood pumps through the garden's veins. The crops mature. Yeah, it's called Gemini Home Entertainment on YouTube is the channel. And this is Nexpo's just overview of it. Oh, that's not good. shifting tendon shape anatomy. That looked like a stretched out butthole at an Ohio truck stop. Man, these sounds and these, this headset, it's fucking loud.
Here, we observe the ROCT tunnel into what appears to be a woodcrawler nest, which are later referred to as gardens. The deeper we go, the more infested things become, which, combined with the phrase mutation of the heart, leads me to believe that these creatures are infecting and mutating Earth somehow from the inside out. The purpose of the red flesh is currently unclear. However, we can postulate that it's some kind of artery for the woodcrawler's crops. Whether those crops are the woodcrawler's offspring, nature's mockery, or something else entirely is also undetermined. However, we know that something is being propagated beneath the ground floor.
Ugh. Like, I'm deadly terrified of spiders. So seeing legs like that just gives me the heebie-jeebies. Deep root disease. This is fucked up right here. Riddle's getting ads? Damn. So, I'll take time to pause since Riddles has ads, and also two things that scare me the most are spiders and disease. Like, I think that's why I'm so drawn to, like, zombie movies, what have you, television series, video games, all that. Just the thought of something entering your body and just completely taking it over and just making changes that you don't want to happen. If you think about it, it's just a terrifying thought, whether it's a disease, a parasite, a virus, anything like that, is just terrifying to me. Which I know isn't smart, that I work at a hospital and walk into patient rooms in an emergency room, and God knows what happens. They just ended mask mandates, so that makes it worse, because all these people in there hacking and coughing with nothing covering their face. You best believe I'm still wearing a mask when I walk in there. But man, just the thought of disease and spiders, both, is just terrifying to me. So now that I've explained that and Riddles is back, let's continue with this deep root disease look and see what that's all about.
Video 12 is an educational film brought to us by the Warner Area Department of Health. In this one, we're going to learn about a condition known as deep root disease. The video is split up into 5 sections: roots, contraction, bulbs, diagnosis, and sprouts. In the roots section,
sounds like
we
horticulture.
observe an obscure illustration of some sort of growth. We're told that roots begin to form from the underside of something called bulbs.
Oh no, Riddles, this is a good time for me to stop and explain my fears. So, actually, it worked out pretty well.
Its base swells as growth continues, resulting in the surrounding area becoming discolored.
Coming into contact, oh my god, with a bone? Ugh. Can spread freely after contact's made. What's with the Final Fantasy music?
With this newfound context, we learn that this disease is biologic, driving home the point that this first illustration is taking place underneath the skin's
Looks
surface.
like discharge coming out of a
We
pee
learn
hole.
that it progresses rapidly, and after making contact with bones, is able to spread freely. What exactly its effects are is still unclear.
Contraction. How do you contract this disease? Good question.
Moving on, we learn how to contract DRD.
By going to an Ohio truck stop. No.
Here, though, the subject is, strangely, doing absolutely nothing.
What the fuck? What, you just sleep to get it? Typically appearing on a normally exposed part of the body, bulbs are the first visible sign. 2 centimeters to 10 centimeters across. So it looks like a mole. Oh, God. Inflammation that abruptly halts as sprouting begins. Oh. If you believe somebody you know has contracted deep root disease, proceed with this simple diagnosis. Ask if they can recall their mother's name, if they've stopped dreaming, if they have felt new bones. Oh.
Straight off the bat, we can make the connection between deep root disease and the spot on the camp admin's neck. And given what we know from Lethal Omen and the player character's transformation in the suicide ending, I'm definitely seeing some correlation here.
Sprouts. I haven't had dreams in a long time. I mean, every now and then I'll remember them riddles, but everyone with moles are about to be tripping, right? Oh, what the fuck? Whoa. What the fuck was that?
Alright, so deep root disease, a somatic condition that, given the ending, appears to spread via direct contact. This video is pivotal because it breaks down a prior assumption about how these human transformations actually work. We initially assumed that woodcrawlers inhabiting victims' bodies were the only way they created fake people. However, in this video, we learn of something entirely different that ultimately results in
So they're kind of like zombies.
And shifting tendons. It goes without saying that this alludes to a human-to-woodcrawler transformation. The process seems to start slow, but rapidly takes off the longer you have it. With this in mind, I wanted to back up to the camp information video and highlight this section about the former camp staff. As we can recall, they were labeled as vessels.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
When we first got to this point, we were unsure if this was a reference to fake people or something else. However, I'm really beginning to think that these two terms are synonymous. With deep root disease,
You become,
it is something entirely different. It's a sickness, a plague, spread by direct contact with someone infected. It's this affliction
Suspense is
that
killing
ultimately
me,
results
Misfit.
in your untimely transformation into a woodcrawler, leading you to become one with them and gaining a primal desire to hunt, inhabit a vessel, and spread DRD to the next unsuspecting family so they can become one too.
Something.
So, in short, fake people are gutted and inhabited by woodcrawlers, and due to this notion, they likely don't suffer the effects of deep root disease. On the other hand, deep root disease infects humans, creating new bones, and turning you into them.
Ooh,
A cycle of life, per se.
that's fucked up. I'm so glad I don't live in this dimension. A woodcrawler, yeah. Big spider-looking thing, which fuck that. That hollows out people's insides and takes over their skin.
Monthly progress reports. Our third
There's
venture.
that
into the world of
Regnad
Regnad
computing again.
This one opens by introducing us to various Regnad staff, along with the project name for their AI technology. Following this, they take us through their major advancements through 4 sections: computer processing, predictive advancement, failure avoidance, and ACL communication. In the first, We learn that Regnat
ACL
graphical capabilities have drastically increased, resulting in the ability to create 3D models like the ones we've seen in Lethal Omen.
Something you do after a good sucking fuck.
We learn of a breakthrough in their predictive advancement technology, which, given the name, seems to give insight into future events. Here, Regnat claims that its capabilities will soon allow their PCs to surpass every competitor within the next year.
Oh, so this is like the Microsoft Corporation of this
In Section 3,
dimension.
they tout their successful avoidance of technological failures. They credit this breakthrough to the so-called support and wisdom from their client, but who this client is currently unclear.
Billy
And
Mays.
lastly, in the final section, they inform us that all communication between Regnat and their client have been recorded from the artificial computer learning monitor room. That recording is as follows.
Oh god. Something weird, I'm sure. Oh god, there's like those deep root things all over the computers. There you go, Misfit. Yeah, keep working on getting them to come. No, wait, that sounded wrong. Prompt entered Earth. Client ready for speaker. Broadcasting to outer space or some shit. Try to make him come with the old suckin' fuck on Craigslist. That looked like the iris. Mary sees the gateway die. Sleeping ones are eaten whole. The vessel floats into the maw. The jaw unhinges. Sounds like it's getting ready for a sucking fuck. Prompt entered moonlight. Running iteration. New things roam the feeding grounds. The harbinger guards in vain. Mary hears a creaking sound. This is like very David Lynch right here. The hungry eye is welcomed. Prompt entered Jack. Oh yeah, we remember Jack. Jack is with us now. Oh shit. Poor Jack. That was fucking weird. I wonder who their client is. And Jack is with us now. Man, I was hoping Jack would have made it. So does he have the deep root disease or is he a woodcrawler?
For the past 3 minutes, we observed the AI tech in action. Given that this time, we have a grander, outside perspective on how things work, it allows us to formulate some key points. For one, we can see that the Regnat computers are becoming infected with the sprouts we saw in deep root disease, hinting at the possibility that this mutation can spread through some medium of analog transmission. 2. We realize that they're on iteration 1417, meaning that they've nailed down communication to an art. 3. We understand that the ACO module feeds the client a prompt, transmitting it through various antennae on the outside of the building. And 4. The client, which is presumably of Iris origin, is responding, effectively opening a line of communication between humanity and these creatures. Now, at the end of the video, we observed Regnad's eagerness to meet their client, meaning that they're well aware that they're communicating with something. This is not an artificial intelligence, and these stories bear stark references to what we've seen from Gemini so far. In iteration 1417, we can observe that the prompt is Earth, with the response given, reading, Mary sees the gateway die. Sleeping ones are eaten whole. The vessel floats into the maw. The jaw unhinges. Now, this could reference one of two things. Either we can take it literally, assuming that woodcrawlers eat people like the vessels we saw in the camp information video, or we can take this symbolically. The line Mary sees the gateway die seems to allude back to Saturn and its rings. Given that they seem thinner than usual in the Our Solar System video, combined with the fact that it was referenced as the gateway, perhaps Saturn is in the way of sorts, unknowingly suppressing the Iris's influence on Earth. It's withering away, and at the very same time, the threat of the Iris is ever growing back home. It wants to mutate, to consume everything, and this vessel we all live on is inching closer and closer to its demise. The next prompt is Moonlight, with the response, New things roam the feeding grounds. The harbinger guards in vain. Mary hears a creaking sound. The hungry eye is welcomed.
Hungry eyes.
This one's a bit more ambiguous. Could be referencing fake people as the new things that are more active at night. However, that's ultimately up for debate. What is clear is the term harbinger, which clearly alludes to Harbinge technologies. A harbinger is defined as a person or thing that announces or signals the approach of another. In other words, exactly what Harbinge Technologies is doing. This line drives home the idea that this client is aware of their existence, and so too of the inadequacy of their products. This explains why the woodcrawler was able to break in so easily in Lethal Omen. Their guidelines don't work, but they're none the wiser because they probably followed them too, and died. Lastly, with the references to Jack, we can assume that he mutated. When this happened is still unclear, however we can postulate that it just might have been when those fake people attacked him. And so, with the way things are going here, I don't think Regnad's onto a breakthrough. Any sane person would pull the plug on this project. However, they're pressing onward. I know this won't be good.
The Christmas Eve party. Well, this should be heartwarming.
Christmas Eve party. I love those. Here, we're placed into a 1985 Christmas Eve party at Moonlight Acres. Things start ordinarily, and the party seems lively. The sun's going down though, and we all know what happens then.
Shit going down. Not on Christmas Eve. Oh, that's that's not good. There's the knocking. Oh.
And so we get our first look at a distinctly different creature to a woodcrawler. Whatever this is incredibly large in size, with some sort of tentacles protruding out of its body.
That was wild. Old Tannenbaum.
Wasn't enough. We then learned that this abomination is Mary. This video
That was
is
Mary?
interesting
Oh,
because
shit.
it presents a contradiction. Mary Dean was listed at the beginning as a videographer. However, at the end, she is completely transformed to this. We know that deep root disease gains speed after it gets to your bones, but damn, I didn't realize it was that fast. This leads us to assume that Jack and Mary entered the Christmas party normally. Mary's affliction was likely at a very late stage, and she probably figured she could power through it. With this, the outside shots are potentially filmed by her as she stepped out to get some air. And while out there, that is when her transformation finalized. I know it sounds like, and could very well be a stretch, but I'm struggling to find an explanation for why this is. What is certain, though, is that she isn't a woodcrawler. She's as foreign to us as woodcrawlers are to them. And now we see what that mentality feels like.
Yes, wow, that's wild. Poor Mary. If this is what I think it is, this is fucking insane. This is where like we see some like real weird shit. Of course, Optica video. Yeah, I mean, I think if people want to meet Keegan, they'll get the opportunity to, whether it's at the gathering or another way.
The video begins by explaining how stressful
All's gonna be
home invasion
well.
can be, and reassures their viewer that this video should ease that. We're then told a couple points to be aware of, like the fact that windows and doors are the most common entrances during a home invasion.
Sorry, I'm just kind of
and that
skimming the
locking
chat.
them can slow a threat. Following this, it advises us to install a security system, including cameras, motion detectors, and alarms, all of which can be disabled by blunt force.
Yeah, I'm most excited about chilling with the homies at the gathering. I'm not really too concerned about who I meet, other than, you know, all y'all. Shaggy's breaking in again. Yeah, that's right. We talked about doing a meetup and throwing around ideas for the 4th weekend. Oh man, I'll be at the gathering that weekend though. Or you mean like around the same area? underneath the home's foundation and create access. So is it telling people how to break into a house? Locate prey. So this is like instructional video for wood crawlers? What the fuck?
It's clear to us that this tape is not for the homeowner, cementing the fact that Optica Video is not a company of good.
Yeah, they're assholes.
Interestingly, we now know the method of entry when woodcrawlers create fake people. Incapacitation, followed by entry through the proboscis, or in other words, the nasal cavity.
Oh, fuck.
Now, quick side note. The reference to the proboscis is interesting because it's not something inherent to human beings. Interestingly, we also
The
saw
clown
that
who's skinny and
woodcrawlers
fat
perceive
has yellow
humans as what appear to
toenails.
be mannequins, and perhaps their interpretation of a human nose is a
The butt.
proboscis. I don't know, could be a stretch, but that's what I took from it. Following this, we're now outside of a home. This handheld camera footage seems familiar.
Is this
Let's see
Jack?
what they find.
Yeah, I don't want to be a monstrous puppet either, Nitro. Oh, there's those weird artery looking things. This can't be good. Are those people? Holy shit, yeah, those look like human shaped. Holy shit. That deep root disease got him. I'd imagine that's probably how Keegan feels right now on day 15 of his subathon. Oh, the eye. Did it move? Oh my god, it did move. It's still alive. Holy shit. That was a wood crawler. Why would you go into a place like that? Yeah, he's fucking running. I would be too. You're probably fucked though. Oh shit, he got.
It's funny. Going back to the beginning of this video and rereading everything with this new context really paints things in a different perspective. This video never referenced homeowners. It was always ambiguous. So, throughout this home, we can observe the red fleshy substance we saw back in the garden.
Yeah, red fleshy substance.
Furthermore, we can notice that same material sculpted into the shape of humans, with one of them clearly being alive.
Yeah, that's, ugh.
This is deep root disease in its most critical form. This family's house is clearly
random sounds that
infested with
fucked you
wood
up.
crawlers, and likely has been for a while. Alongside this, the disease was possibly all over the
Hope it doesn't cause you to lose the game, Sailor V.
Contracting it and having it run its course, we now see exactly what it does to you. Furthermore, as we can recall from monthly progress reports, these deep root sprouts are able to grow anywhere, giving us a visual cue and warning of places to avoid. We can also notice how these people can't move. Much like the plagued NPC at the end of Lethal Omen, they're frozen, likely in their final moments of infection before their final transformation takes place.
Ugh.
You're left in a vegetative state.
See, shit like that is terrifying
unable
to
to
me.
move, unable to feel, unable to speak.
Like, that's like the worst fate I can think of, something like that.
But there's a catch here. A few videos ago, we postulated that woodcrawlers do two things: spread DRD and inhabit the victims' bodies, which we now know is through their interpretation of a human nose. We never really entertained the idea of woodcrawlers inhabiting the bodies of people already infected, which is what I believe is happening here. Their skin is gone, and we're witnessing what otherwise would be taking
Be
place
sure and
inside
tell
of their
them
body.
Large
if they were fully
Marge
intact.
sent ya.
Hey, Funny as Hell Gaming, thank you for the raid, and thank you for the follow
One
too, my
version of
friend.
them are fake people out in the wild somewhere.
Salute.
But the real version, they're infected insides. Well, that's what you're looking at.
Shit's fucked up. The Crusader probe mission. I think this is the last video from Gemini Home Entertainment. You know, this is from a year ago, so there might be more Gemini Home Entertainment content since this was made. Yeah, thanks for showing love, Funny as Hell Gaming. I appreciate you, homie. Probes, yeah, Nitro.
And so we make our way to the 16th and final video of Gemini Home Entertainment. Brought to us by Geneva, a ship named Crusader 5 has returned from a decades-long mission after photographing Jupiter, Saturn, and Neptune.
Crusader incident timeline. Incident? Kind of like the incident that caused the Dharma Swan Station to be made. Callisto, moon of Jupiter. Europa, moon of Jupiter. I never actually seen Jupiter's moons before. 1985. See, I ain't even been born yet in this reality. 86. Nope, I was July 86. Okay, I knew about Titan. Lapidus, moon of Saturn. Thank you for giving the shout out to Funny as Hell Gaming. Yeah, you should have gotten super high for this, Misfit. 1990 motherfucking 1. Sailor V's completely lost. She's just getting thrown off by the weird sounds. The moon of Uranus. Wait, they're like merging together and getting all morphed and shit. Crusader approaches. Sis, moon of Iris. Oh shit, we're going to Iris now. Hestia is the Greek equivalent of Vesta. Hey, there you go.
So, unsurprisingly, Crusader 5 is encountering
Y'all are
Uranus
lost.
and its many moons, and all of them appear to be fleshy, deformed,
Fleshy,
and
deformed,
alive.
and alive.
Interestingly, we also observed two moons being fused together.
Looks
by
like a
organic
big
force,
ass.
cementing the fact that the iris's
With
influence
pre on
is
it.
abundant, affecting more
In
than
fact,
just planets.
I bet a lot of people have seen this at a truck stop in Central Ohio. Am I right? Am I right?
Oh yeah, and Neptune's fucking missing.
Oh shit, no Neptune. I missed that. This must be the iris. Crusader enters Esophagus Grove. I've entered a few esophagus groves in my lifetime. Do you know what I'm saying? Hey, those look like cummies. The fate of a sperm cell after butt sex. That looks like the deep root disease. The lower throat. Crusader approaches conscious mind. This can't be good. Hello, Kevin. Wait, it's... Oh, man, it's spying on people in bed. Is that Jack? Crusader signal lost for 7 months. So the iris was spying on... I'm assuming that was Jack in bed. Right before your birthday, oh shit. That must be why it's Gemini Home Entertainment. Manny 20th.
Alright, so this final video was a lot to unpack, but I'm gonna do my best to line it out.
Come on, help us out next,
So
we're
here,
all lost
we
here.
observed the inside of the iris, something that is unsurprisingly full of every cornerstone of a sentient being, with arteries, muscular fibers, and even what appear to be egg sacs. Before we get to what we
I
saw
thought
at
they
the
were
end,
cummies.
though,
They're egg
let's back
sacs.
up and establish what exactly this Crusader mission is. As we could say,
Speaking
it
of
began
cummies, I
in
got a
June
little bit of protein
1982.
juice left.
If the Moonlight Acres mythology is anything to go off of, then we know that the iris arrived in the solar system decades earlier. With this in mind, we can infer that this mission was reactionary. It's likely that astronomers noticed something happening with Neptune, with strange anomalies and movement not physically possible. And so, they launched the Crusader to venture out, take photographs of only Jupiter, Saturn, and Neptune, and report back with their findings. As we saw, the first stop was Jupiter. Here, everything was normal. The moons were there, Jupiter
Girls
was there,
go to
and everything
Jupiter
checked
to
out.
get more stupider.
Upon moving to Saturn, the planet seemed okay. Crusader 5 then photographs 3 of its moons: Titan, Iapetus, and Chiron. Interestingly, Chiron doesn't actually exist, but the Crusader was still able to get a shot of it.
Huh.
It gets even weirder during this brief cut, in which we can read that the Crusader actually only photographed 2 of them. Anyway, moving on. We then make our way to Neptune. This segment only spans 2 months, and that's because Neptune is gone. During its hunt for this missing planet, it comes into contact with the various moons of Jupiter, Uranus, and Saturn that are all completely out of place and out of orbit. And following this, it then encounters the source of the problem. The iris. It's here where it's sucked inside and begins to photograph its interior. We then make our way through the esophagus and spine before approaching what the video calls its conscious mind. While inside, we then observe numerous scenes on Earth, including a DRD-infected person standing over a bed in early May, and either a transmission module or structure from Regnat Computing in late October. It's here where I'm led to believe that we're witnessing things through the lens of the iris. Somehow, the Crusader was able to link into its mind, observing the visual input that it's been processing.
Oh god, Miss, the sun disappeared
Finally,
was so
at the
horrible.
very end, we lose signal. the Crusader goes offline for 7 months. And from here, we can assume that it was then ejected somehow.
And Mr. Twister agrees with me too. But Fizzy might be with you on that, Misfit.
Either that, or it's still inside the iris.
Oh shit, I didn't think of that.
And the iris is the one making its way to us. And there we have it. 16 videos, chock full of disturbing lore, hidden secrets, and tons of names, companies, planets, creatures, you name it. There is so much going on within Gemini Home Entertainment, and the beauty of it is that it's given to us with such ambiguity. So much of this story is left up to interpretation, and for all I know, you could very easily have a different theory from mine on the events taking place. Tying this all together is going to be a monster, so if I were you, I'd grab a monster, because we're about to go full theory mode to piece together.
Here we go. Here's what you've been waiting for, Misfit.
So, ladies and gentlemen, to me, Gemini Home Entertainment goes a little something like this.
Let's see Nexpo's theory. He's a pretty smart dude, so I have faith.
Sometime within the millennium, a planet that we now know as the Iris enters our solar system, nesting its place between Neptune and Pluto. It was looking for life, any sort of home to invade and colonize. Initially, Neptune was a contender, which is likely why it chose this spot. However, it then discovered something else. The perfect target. The perfect home. The Iris begins to study, to learn how humans work and interact, simply because it can. It's far smarter and more powerful than anything humans have ever experienced, and could easily take over in an instant. But it won't do that. At least, not yet. It mutates Neptune through some sort of means that is unclear, and this transformation finalizes sometime in the 1930s. It's here where it begins to emit solar storms to Earth, and with this, Jupiter and Saturn are affected by proximity. Within this first solar storm, there were likely trace amounts of woodcrawler, nature's mockery, and deep root disease embryos, seeds, and antigens respectively. And it's possible that, upon reaching Earth, it took years for these to grow into a life stage that is invasive. Deep within a Minnesota forest, woodcrawlers make contact with Earth. Beneath the ground, they begin nesting, hollowing out the depths of the Earth's crust and building what we come to learn as their garden. It's unclear how deep this garden goes. However, given the phrase, mutation of the heart, we can assume that they're burrowing as far as the Earth's core. On the surface, effects of this mutation are felt in larger and larger quantities over time. And by the mid-1930s, people have begun to go missing. An unknown plant begins to multiply, and a strange, slow-moving disease begins spreading throughout the surrounding communities. People also begin acting erratic and unnatural. However, humanity is clueless on how to handle it. Word began to spread by the late 1930s as campgoers began reporting sightings of skinwalkers that we now know were most likely woodcrawlers taking the bodies of various animals. Given their repulsion to sunlight, we know that they were only seen and heard at night, meaning that people never really got a good look at them. As the Iris becomes more influential, the lights in the sky event becomes more common, attracting more campgoers and resulting in more victims. Strange men begin to show up as well, and with this, some sort of ambiguous deal was made with the camp, and they left without ever returning.
And 42 years
As
of
these
infection.
creatures in this foreign plague spreads, various companies begin studying and creating VHS tapes, all with a unique goal. Harbinge forms after the Iris's threat becomes known, and they begin to create guides while engineering devices that they believe will help humanity survive it.
I'll tell you what, wasteful, whatever. You're wasteful of my time, wasteful anal mate. How do you like that? Banned by Nitro. Fuck you, bot. Let's get back to this theory on what Gemini Home Entertainment's all about. So, Ms. Fav, you've been following along. I know it's a lot. But pretty much a planet or a living organism that looks like a planet called the Iris entered our solar system and first targeted Neptune, but then saw Earth and all the human beings on it. So it did something to Neptune to send wood crawlers and this deep root disease and all that to Earth. And it's slowly starting to take over animals and humans and all that. And that's where we are now. So yeah, I'm going to jump back just a little bit here since that bot rudely interrupted us. We'll go back to the lights in the sky. But see, I don't know, Misfit. I think it's like a giant living organism that looks like a planet. But it could be both.
Victims. Strange men begin to show up as well. And with this, some
Phil
sort
Collins
of ambiguous deal was made with the camp, and they left without ever returning. As these creatures in this foreign plague spreads, various companies begin studying and creating VHS tapes, all with a unique goal. Harbinge forms after the Iris's threat becomes known, and they begin to create guides while engineering devices that they believe will help humanity survive it. Regnat, a highly competitive computer company obsessed with becoming a leader in technological advancement, becomes fascinated by the Iris and begins manufacturing technology that can interact with it, thus resulting in the rapid progress of their titular AI. Geneva, a group likely composed of scientists, encounters anomalies deep within the ocean floor and decides to share their discovery, later landing them a space exploration deal in which they help launch a spacecraft called Crusader 5. Optica Video, an otherwise family-friendly company, at some point is taken over, resulting in their videos becoming manipulation tapes in favor of the Iris. And caught between everything is Gemini Home Entertainment, a company that aims to document the mutation of Earth for archival purposes. They seem to be a neutral party, and this is likely why they accept all media about the Iris, no matter the affiliation. As the decades pass, the mutation of humanity becomes ever abundant. People disappear in growing numbers, and Canadian and US governments likely become involved in studying the events transpiring. Resultingly, Moonlight Acres was shut down from the 40s through the 80s, and during its closure, various engineering feats materialize, like the ROCT and the Crusader 5, both of which were created to study the Iris's influence. And by 1982, the Crusader 5 mission begins. In June, it approaches Jupiter. Nothing is found, and everything checked out. 3 years later, it approaches Saturn, studying it from December of 1985 to January of 1986. Things too seem ordinary, until the Crusader finds a moon that shouldn't be there. Concurrently back home, Moonlight Acres reopens its doors in 1985, advertising burrow-free cabins and new measures in place to prevent woodcrawler influence. During that same year, they throw their first Christmas Eve party in celebration of reopening and a new outlook. However, this party abruptly ends due to Mary's transformation into an anomalous beast that has not yet been studied. Consequently, the partygoers are either killed or flee, and among the latter is Jack, who makes his way to the campground bunker we saw in Lethal Omen. It's here where he waits things out while his mutated wife leaves, and thereafter, he develops a newfound goal in life to spread the word about these creatures. Back in space throughout the next few years, Neptune goes missing because of its mutation. It, Jupiter's, and Uranus's moons begin to suffer mutation, all of which are caught by Crusader 5. And soon after, In 1992, it gets devoured by the source of the problem. It's safe to assume that by this time
right?
back on Earth, Jack Dean had filmed his World's Weirdest Animals and Wilderness Survival Guide videos. However, contrary to our prior assumption about him being killed at the end of the former, we realize that he actually survived this due to the Iris's vision of a man in a bed in early May of 1993, the same time we know that Jack Dean had gone missing. We assume that this DRD-infected person likely spread it to him, given their inability to move from standing by his bed. It's here where he potentially entered the sieve to check if he contracted it, given that we learn that DRD-infected people are unable to dream. And with the existence of his dream, we learn that he did not.
Oh, okay.
Resultingly, he ventures back out to film some more. He was given a new lease on life and decides to explore a house that he suspects is infected. As we established, the flesh people we saw were likely their infected insides, with their actual bodies being elsewhere. But something I failed to mention earlier was what happened during that ending. The woodcrawler that attacked him, likely resulting in either his death or his untimely transformation into a woodcrawler.
Yeah, see, it looked like it took him out. Ugh.
And this is only the story of Jack and Mary. Take this and multiply it by the population of Minnesota, the United States, the world, and we realize the monumental scale of the problem. Gemini Home Entertainment is but a small lens to what we can see. Now imagine what we can't. The claim that the Civ dreams did not predict the future was a lie. They were stockpiled in Lethal Omen for a reason. And that was because they predicted what the fall of humanity would look like.
Yeah, Miss. So the woodland, the wood crawlers, they look like spiders, but they crawl into human beings through their nasal cavities, and like take over like their bodies from inside, which is like Sailor V just said, fucking horrifying. But there's also a disease, that deep root disease that they're talking about, that can also transform people into like those weird like red veiny looking creatures we saw earlier. Pretty fucked up.
So, as fate would have it, something happened while I was chest deep in making this video. Part of an entirely new playlist called The Library, we have a new video titled Wretched Hands. It appears to be an internal company take,
The anus would be
completely
worse.
separate from Gemini, made by the staff of Moonlight Acres. The opening shot takes place on Christmas Eve. Given that it was denoted as taking place 25 minutes before the first attack, we can assume that this scene is happening concurrent to the Christmas Eve party episode we saw a few videos back.
Whoa, what the fuck?
Moving on, we then observe two letters by a Glenn Arthur. In the first, written on May 3rd of 1946, Glenn explains to someone named Curtis that he's found a way to uphold their end of the deal without giving in to these creatures' abhorrent demands.
Curtis, come down to the camp this weekend. Fulton and I have devised a plan on how we can continue to uphold the deal without giving in to these beings' abhorrent demands. Richard has seen a bear lurking near the boys' cabins. We'll go out and shoot it. If the statue wants a sacrifice, it'll have to settle for this. I will be a pawn no longer. Curtis, I tell you this with complete certainty. If I could do it over again, I would never have made that deal. Glenn.
The fucking deep voice.
In the second letter, we get another reference to Lethal Omen.
It almost sounds like Nexpo with a voice modulator. Just
Richard
saying.
hands tap my window. A stranger's fangs scrape the walls.
Stranger Things. Bone antler. Yeah, that's why I'm into it, Nitro. It is very Lovecraftian, isn't it? And see, Nitro gets it. And David Lynch as well, don't you agree? No, H.P. Lovecraft's an author. A very racist author, but he's a good author nonetheless. Glenn Arthur. Well, he didn't make it. Yeah, I wouldn't buy his books. Just like get them from the library or some shit. I mean, he's been dead for
Alright,
years.
So this, ritual,
but
this deal that the camp staff made is now becoming clear, giving us more context on the decades-long closure of Moonlight Acres. For starters, this Glenn Arthur person is implied to have had some sort of affiliation with the camp during its original run, and we can assume that he was authoritative enough to make a decision as big as the deal with the strange men from the 1930s. I'm led to believe that this deal involved the statue requiring annual sacrifices in exchange for sparing their lives. Initially, Glenn went along with it, fearing that if he didn't, he would meet the fate of the others who began to go missing during that same time period. By the year 1946, nearly a decade later though, he decided that he couldn't do it anymore. It was too much for him, and so he explains to Curtis that he has an idea to mitigate the burden of having to live his life at the expense of others.
yo, what up, Trailer
That
Park
idea
Cinderella?
is
Thuggalo show.
a bear.
Yeah, I couldn't make it to
He's gonna
Chapel
offer a
Hill,
bear
man.
in lieu of another
You
human
know,
being.
IRS really
Baby
fucked
squirrel.
me.
To accept
Oh,
it.
and thanks for the follow as well, homie.
But, of course,
But yeah, the IRS really fucked me on taxes this year, so I gotta like really like pinch my pennies, you know, for gathering time. But man, I hope you had a good time tonight, man. And thanks for the follow too. I appreciate it. TPC in the place to be. Davey is the Thuggalo. Catch me on the Thuggalo show on the 28th. I'm going to be competing to win a gathering ticket against some Zach Jabroni in a trivia contest. Oh, I'll be at the gathering for sure. Even if I don't win the ticket, I'm gonna get my ass to the gathering. But I think we all know I'm going to be winning that ticket in that trivia contest. Zach, you jabroni. You ain't got the knowledge that I got. But yeah, everybody tune into the Thuggalo show on YouTube on the 28th, because I'll be competing in a trivia contest, and I'll be winning a ticket for sure. Man, thanks for popping in, Trailer Park Cinderella, Thuggalo show. In fact, let me give you a follow back real quick. I know I'm always late night, Luckily, though, when I do Friday streams, it's like right after the Thuggalo show ends. So I know like you're winding down right when I'm starting up on my streams. But no worries, man. I'm glad you popped in to show some love. I hope you had a good time at the Chapel Hill show tonight. That Ouija Knievel tour. Look at this shiz. What shiz, Misfit? What, chef's kiss? Is that what that is? A chef's kiss? Or is that like I love Italian people? Hey, what you doing, man? Mwah! Either way, I dig it. When Shaggy had the shit punched out of him for punching a woman, what did she do to him to deserve it? It's a good question, Baba Booey. We may never know. Oh, that's your chef kiss emoji. Alright, let's pick this back up. We're almost to the end here.
It doesn't. Regardless, the bear undergoes the same ritual process as humans.
She grabbed his nuts.
However, with it, its transformation.
Oh, I thought you meant when he tried to
mutated
dropkick
abomination.
Fred Durst.
Initially, it still resembled a bear. However, with it came a newfound hunger that was insatiable. At this point, it's unclear if the statue purposefully implemented this method of absorption into this bear as some sort of retaliation, or if it's some sort of poetic coincidence. What we do know, though, is that people are still being sacrificed and molded into something otherworldly. It's just that, this time, they're becoming utilized as limbs for this monster that won't stop growing. So, as it turns out, Moonlight Acres did not shut down because of government intervention. There was a monster on the loose, and given that Christmas Eve party, nearly everyone was killed.
Oh, you're too high for this shit. Oh yeah, this is some spooky ass shit, man. Got like aliens coming down, look like big spiders crawling in people's
Alright,
nasal
for real this
cavities,
time.
taking
I
over
swear
their
to God,
bodies and
we're
shit.
at the finish line. We're done. We're here.
Pretty fucking scary.
During this journey, we have unpacked woodcrawlers, the bear, fake people, the iris, a disturbing campground, weird mannequin figures, the death of a couple, the motivations behind various companies, alien communication, planet mutation, inevitable societal collapse, infectious diseases, dream recordings, strange ritual sacrifices, and this bizarre unawareness by the general public as to what's actually going on. I cannot wait to see more episodes of this, so we can gain some answers for things still shrouded in mystery. There was a lot left to interpretation, and I'm keen to hear your input about it.
I'll be diving into
For
it next
instance,
po.
what did the mutation of Neptune actually entail?
And what
How
does
in
it
the
have to
world
do
did
with
people get
Uranus?
the bright idea to reopen Moonlight Acres? Who's creating the optic of VHS tapes? What was the dynamic between camp staff and the ritual statue in Lethal Omen? And what exactly does the mutation of Earth encompass? We know it's happening, and we get visuals of it. However, the endgame is still shrouded in mystery. What we do know, though, is that within the world of Gemini home entertainment, humanity's days are numbered.
What?
What
When?
comes in the mutated bear?
Where?
Nature's mockery is consuming, and on the brink of collapse,
Why?
society is hanging by nothing but
How?
the iris is with us now, laughing at us, and we know that it ain't going anywhere.
Scorsese 316. What? I'm gonna be opening a can of whoop ass on the 28th. That's for
A
sure.
simple invasion story about creatures taking over humanity and blossomed into an incredibly dense alternate history.
What band did ICP kick off their tour led into fighting Sharon Osbourne? Coal Chamber.
Company that we're still unable to fully understand. I absolutely recommend that you watch this series from start to finish and formulate your own theories on what you think.
Oh, I plan on it next po. That's what I'm going to do in the next stream, actually.
As we've seen, there are tons of secrets, and you just might spot something. that
Now,
could change your
TPC,
entire
when is
outlook
the
on
next
this series
Thuggalo show?
altogether.
Is that Saturday or Sunday? I can't remember. I know you didn't have one tonight because y'all went to the Chapel Hill show.
I don't know about you, but I know for a fact that I'll be here for that ride every step of the way. This is not the end of the road. There are still tons of points left unanswered. And much like the Walton Files, we now lie in wait until our next venture begins. In the meantime, I'm going on vacation. I'll see you all at Moonlight Acres. I've heard there's
Sunday afternoon. Fuck yeah. Oh yeah, that Spanish time zone. Yeah, everybody, make sure you follow that link I just clicked on. Subscribe to the Thuggalo Show on YouTube if you haven't already. Look, thanks for looking out, Baba Booey. Hey man, nothing but love for you, Trailer Park Cinderella. Sunday at 3 p.m. I guess I can exit out of this, just credits and shit. So yeah. That was Gemini Home Entertainment. Thanks again for the follow, Thuggalo Show. Thanks for the raid, Funny as Hell Gaming. Let's zoom in on my pretty face. I might even be suited up like this for the trivia challenge. You know, you gotta dress for the job you want. And I want to be a pimp. Fuck, I am a pimp. Oh, Fizzy just popped in right at the end. Oh, shit. Thuggalo Show will return to normal Fridays at 10 on April 28th, where I will win the Thuggalo Trivia. Oh, and Apollo Exodus will be on there too. Holy shit. Hell yeah. Oh yeah, I'll stick around for sure, man. If I win. What if I lose? Y'all gonna be like, fuck you, Juff, and just like kick my ass off. Wear a wrestling singlet? I just might. Well, Fizzy, we'll talk about it for sure. Sailor V is still fucking lost, has no idea what she just watched. Like I said, I'm going to do my own deep dive on the stream of Gemini Home Entertainment. Because there might be more to it since this video was made. Like, this was uploaded like a year ago. Got my back, call the other dudes cheaters. Well, it's just one dude. I don't know much about him. I just know his name's Zach. I cut a promo on him. I sent it to the Thuggalo Show. I don't know if they're going to show it or not. But let's just say I brought in the Spirit in 1996. Had Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, and Hollywood Hulk Hogan in mind when I did this promo. Oh, yep, they're going to show it. They're going to show it. I didn't hold back on this Zach dude. I let him know exactly what he's in for. I would be surprised if he forfeits, to be honest. Because that would put the fear of God in anybody. The shit I was talking. Yeah, Sailor V, you're safe from wood spiders from space. That deep root disease, you never know. You hit up the wrong truck stop in Central Ohio. You might catch something worse than deep root disease. But yeah, much love to the Thuggalo Show. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for the follow. Trailer Park Cinderella, you're the shit. I hope you had a good time at the show tonight, homie. I know you were living it up in Vegas, too. Man, Keegan is still going. How much time does he have left on his subathon? Got a ball aside, big things planned for Gotcha. That's what I like to hear, man. Fuck yeah. Gathering's gonna be fucking dope this year. Zach doesn't know shit, and if he does, he's a cheating. Oh man, I got a following coming behind me already. Man, this is gonna be interesting on the 28th. So make sure you check it out. Alright, but I'm gonna... let's raid over to Keegan. I want to see how much time he's got left on this damn subathon. 48 minutes left. Yeah, all you Davy heads, check it out next Friday. You be safe too, TPC. Have a safe trip back home. Let's see if I can raid like this. Probably not, because it never lets me do it this way anymore. Probably have to go into my actual settings. Oh no, it actually worked this time. Fuck yeah. Alright, stick around. Show some love to Keegan. He's on day 15 of his subathon, going strong. But he's dwindling down to the end, maybe. We'll see. I've thought it's going to be over for like the last 2 days, and it hasn't. So much clown love, y'all. Whoop, whoop. And I'll see you next time.